Hey, what's going on, everybody? That's Will. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another awesome conversation and edition of Artist Talk. And let's get right to it. I don't want to waste any time here. Our conversation today will be with Mr. Dave Stafford of Stafford's Music Studio. And before we bring Mr. Stafford on, I just want to say real quick to please share my stream and my links with everyone that you know, that so today we can make a positive difference in someone's life. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. If you like my content, please follow my social links in the description box below. Artist Talk is looking for sponsorship. All guitar brands, amp brands, pedal brands, cable brands are welcome. All brands can get in contact with me by emailing me at guitarstreaming352@gmail.com. To ask my guests a question, please text area code 626-658-4908. Limit one question per text. And now, it is my honor. I'm not going to waste any more time with this. It's my honor to present to you the most wonderful, talented, intellectual, Mr. David Stafford. Hey, David, how you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm wonderful. I'm fantastic. Is your day going well?
Yeah. I just got home from work, and it's not snowing, so that's good. And still early in the day yet.
Well, I see Dwight Bailey made it in the chat room today. We also have Rockin' Dave Byron. Cool, bro. I'll try to be there. My phone and laptop are not working. Oh, man. So that's why I haven't been around lately. I hope to fix it soon. God, I miss the old analog days when things worked. I like that.
Yeah, technology is tough sometimes. Dwight Bailey.
So tell me all about the history of Stafford Music Studio, sir.
History. Well, this is actually, which would be the basement of my house, and I was in bands for the last 20 years, in metal bands, and anyway, we I think from 2013 on, we were rehearsing here. We'd play here, and I was soundproof, and I'd get a door on and put a bathroom in, and excuse me, and eventually, it was the practice spot, but it never got finished. And my drummer at one point finally said, "Man, get the 2x4s and I'll help you, and we'll build the studio." And because I always had, just like Dave Byron said, I had a big Korg 16-track with a digital screen and recording. So I always liked to record what we were doing and make CDs and stuff like that. So we're like, let's turn it into like more studio like. And I went up to Menards and we bought the lumber and just busted it out and
Amazing.
Yeah, we just and that's kind of, even before I had the studio finished, I started my YouTube channel, and I had no idea what YouTube really entailed. And I would just put some songs out in hopes that it would get some attention for a band at the time. And then so that's how it started up to this point.
Wow, that's isn't it something how when first you think about something and you think, wow, that would be cool to be able to do, and you're like, how am I gonna do that? How am I gonna do that? And then all of a sudden, one day you wake up
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, whoa. And you're looking around. It's a pretty intense feeling.
Yeah, I mean, thank God I got some really cool friends and handy friends too. And I built most of my house, and my drummer can, he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, and I mean that in absolutely most positive way. And a couple of air nailers, 2x4s, some ideas, knocking it out, showed me how to lay the flooring, and got me going a few rows of that. And then simply my wife and I actually finished it in a matter of a day. And just tried to find a catchy name, and I put some acoustic foam up, which I need to order more because I still have some room reverb in here. And but again, with today's technology, just about everything's digital, recorded digitally. So when you can plug straight into the interface, for soundproofing, you don't need that much. But again, and I have this giant interface because the goal was to, record live band settings and so forth. So, but yeah, so it's been fun and, an experience. So I see DR Guitars in the chat. Hey, man. I can see the chat here.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Bruce here. Bruce is here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Bruce.
Mark Taylor.
Mark Taylor. Oh, wow. R2A3 Locking Nut is here. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gary Thorlander is here saying hi to Bruce. Hey, they're DR Guitars. Boy. All right. Hey, thanks, guys. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Hey, DR Guitars, how are you? Mark Taylor's saying hi to old Bruce there. All right.
Cheers, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Beautiful.
Crown Royal.
There you go.
Just a little sip.
If I wasn't driving later, I would probably be joining you.
Yeah, no, I'm in for the night. I'm gonna work on some guitar after this, and then get through my Friday, and that's that.
Oh man. We also have Freeman recording artist Tim Stephens here.
Wow.
Show us the ants. Show us the ants. Show us the ants. Us. What's going on, Tim? Welcome. I'm glad to see you. How are you? You're on tour right now, right?
Awesome.
Wow. So
I'll show you my amp.
Cool. Check this out, Tim.
There, as far as I can get, the Randall half stack with the Yoda and the gargoyle on it. 100-watt RMS. My little junky percussion plus drum kit. But that's that. Otherwise, you got a Line 6, Spider 3 for lower volume playing. It sounds really good. It's just a cheap amp. And a lot of my main recordings lately have been through my Line 6 HX Stomp, which has really been working out really good. Really good.
HX Stomp.
Yeah, because you can get IRs in there, and
wow,
quite a few presets. So, Yeah.
So, what you're talking about gear? What's your favorite piece of gear that you have right now?
Um, honestly, at the present moment, my HX Stomp, if we would call that gear, it's like a pedal, but outside of that would have been probably just I have, which is really debatable. I actually, you can watch my videos where a lot of my tones came from just my pedal board. I use the SM57 to record it through my amp, and I would use like a metal zone with a chorus, a EQ boost, and the DD6 Boss digital delay. And that was that's basically I'm pretty simple that way. I kind of find a tone that I can work in between my cleans and distortion and kind of stick with it. I don't venture out too far just because I had a GT, was it 800, Boss 800, I think, processor board. And I mean, it was great. It took a beating, but it got broke in our studio. Not this studio, a rehearsal studio in Madison, but otherwise, the one thing I need to use more is I bought this little well, it's wrapped up, but this is fun. The little ditto looper. It was it was like $100, and it's so worth it. Because I don't do a lot of, instead of like looping, I'll have my Logic Pro X open up, and I'll just maybe record a riff or something, and then I can play it over and over in there. But otherwise, like when I go over to my drummer's house and just jam with him, and it's just him and I, like I'll take this with, and my TC Electronics, if it focuses in, and because then you can get loop a rhythm in the background if you're doing something or writing low. You want to, because it gets so dead if I want to solo, and it's just a drummer drumming, so things like that. Hey, 6-string Brian, what's up, man? So
hey, 6-string Brian.
That's probably it. I don't have a ton of gear, to be honest with you, Will. But I don't know. What do you like to use? What's your favorite?
Gear wise?
Yeah.
Well, that leads us to the next thing.
Oh,
actually, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that, because
I'm assuming you have more than me.
I promised an acquaintance of mine that I would say every single time I go live. And that leads me to this. I am a proud advocate of Rock and Roll Relic guitars, Mr. Billy Rowe and the band Jetboy. Rock and Roll Relic guitars, in my humble opinion, in the big scheme of things, are the best instruments in the world. There's some kind of mojo, there's some kind of vibe. There's just something that are really making these awesome tools of the trade. Separates them from everyone else. I stand behind Billy Rowe, and I stand behind everything Rock and Roll Relics does. I'm not paid to say this. It's just that I am an advocate, and I will always praise Rock and Roll Relics every time I go live. And in my music videos, my guitar videos, I'm going to start posting. And just because I love Rock and Roll Relics, I love the guitars, I love the owner, I love the band he's in. I total old school rock and roll, and with the gain turn down on the amps, the master dime on the amps, get those power amps saturated and glowing, and just good open G, fun, good time rock and roll. And that's what I'm all about. And that's one of the reasons why I connect with rock and roll rally guitars.
Right on.
But with that being said, a little shout out to Billy Rowe. I'll see you next week at the NAMP show, my friend.
Oh, nice.
Gear. Well, I was showing you the Boss DD200. Reach up here. I'm mostly a pedal guy right now. So I don't have any like raging Marshall stacks anymore or anything. So it is what it is. I have a 50-watt Boss Katana.
Oh, that's nice.
This amp is good enough in my opinion.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know. Also, I'm putting together a pedal board.
Our Friedman.
This is one of the best transparent overdrives that I have ever played through in all my years of playing. If you love the tone, sorry about that. If you love the tone of the TS-808, this right here, with flipping these two dip switches on either side of the pedal, flipping them up, keeping the drive down, pumping the volume, pumping the tone, the Golden Pearl. This is one of the best transparent overdrives that I have ever played through and heard of in my life.
Wow.
Moving on to the next one, I have the Friedman Dirty Shirley overdrive.
I was going to ask you. I thought you had a Dirty Shirley.
And this right here, to me, is my favorite bands in a box. The 70s Aerosmith, the 70s Zeppelin, the 2000 Jet Boys, even Mr. Tim Stevens band. I love this pedal right here. I'm gonna try and make time next week when I go to NAMM to stop by the Friedman booth so I could get some pictures and maybe set up some time with David Friedman. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's all suggestive. We'll see what happens. I know why I'm going, and it's not go walking around, but we'll see. Also, on the subject of gear, let's see, I showed you my Overdrive Deluxe, my DD200. I have, you mentioned the Ditto Looper. What you were showing me, I have one of those.
Nice.
The same exact one, as a matter of fact. Have you ever heard the TC Electronics Dark Matter distortion?
I might have heard R2 or 3 actually talk about that before. I'm not sure. It sounds familiar, but it's not like offhand I'm real familiar with it.
Well, I have one of those, and I have a TC Electronic Mojo Overdrive. Paul Gilbert loves those. Paul Gilbert has a Mojo TC Electronics Overdrive on his own pedal board.
Well, the cool thing
that he travels around with.
Yeah, those TC Electronics. The cool thing about that is you can USB them and get and download tone prints, I believe, on those pedals.
Right? Yeah, that's where the Vicious 5 and the Quintessence, and what was the name? I'm having a brain freeze right now. What's the name of their compressor pedal?
The compressor pedal? I don't know, to be honest with you. Somebody in the chat might. Tim Steffens, is Stafford's commercial studio or just a home? It's just a home studio, Tim, if you're still in the chat. I mean, I would record local bands if they wanted it or anybody, but by no means do I think I'm like a professional grade when it comes to mixing. I'm trying to do my best. And Gary Thorlander, hey, buddy. But yeah, so like I said, I was just trying to come with a name, and I've known enough people that I give a few guitar lessons, and I don't charge anybody anything, really, Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, Mr. David Stafford's link are down in the description box of this conversation, this video below. Check them out. I have all of Mr. Stafford's links. I have all of everything that Mr. Stafford is doing with his music studio. Check him out. Hit him up. Email him. Let them know you're interested in knowing more about what he's got to offer. Mr. Stafford is one of the most educated and well-versed producers and studio people that I have met in a long time. And that's why I've been looking forward to our conversation all week.
Well, thanks. I don't know if all that's true about me, but thanks. I appreciate it. Like I said, again, going back to the mixing, I just listen through my monitors and just keep messing with it some. And there's a lot that goes into mastering and whatnot. So again, like I pretty much, I've worked on YouTube collaborations with different YouTube creators, and sometimes that certain creator will want my isolated guitar track so he or she can mix it, and sometimes I might be leading it, or they don't have necessarily all the tools that I have, and I'll do the mixing. And sometimes you're getting a recording from a cell phone versus an actual DAW program, or I mean, it can be challenging, but with my point of this is with technology, if analog or digital, if you have a way of sending that, it makes collaborating a lot more accessible and easy to have a higher quality recording. It's not like you have to per se be here to get that recording. If you have something that can get a good recording, because then, for instance, if I can get that isolated track, then I can put it into the DAW, I can EQ it, I can, whatever it needs, compress, put a compressor on it. So, I mean, like I said, it's a learning curve, but yeah, so yeah, I just seen the chat popping off the corner of mine too. That's cool. Good luck the future this year, buddy. Yeah, thanks, Tim, and same to you. Like I said, it's a fun journey, and it's just a passion of mine. But EJ's guitars stopped in. Yeah, buddy. Janice Lala, hey, haven't seen her. Holy smokes.
Holy smokes. Wow. Hey,
Scott.
Janice is here. Hi, Janice. Janice. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today. I love seeing Janice pop up in our chat room. She's awesome. Gary, everybody who's in the chat room right now is such an important part.
Absolutely.
Of what Dreamland Studios is all about. Because I can't do this without wonderful guests like yourself. I can't do this what I'm doing now without the good folks in the chat. And you know, it's important. So and I want everybody to know how much I really appreciate him. So for 2020, folks, let's see, Janice, how's it going? It's going pretty well, Janice. Life is good. Life is good. Life is real good. I want to do something. I want to do something special in my show for the folks in the chat. And I want to do it before we get too deep into 2020, kind of create some good vibes and try and put some good vibes out and get this year off to a good start. So the problem is that I have a couple ideas and I'm still working on them. This one quick announcement. In 2 weeks' time, 2 weeks from today, there will be a new talk show on YouTube, and it'll be called Pedal Talk, featuring yours truly. I'm gonna do Pedal Talk, and I'm gonna start that. So then that will push out Guitar Streaming 352, have artists talk and Pedal Talk, and that'll be enough for me. But yeah, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks time, the first episode of Pedal Talk. I hope that I have a guest for it. If not, everybody's just gonna hear me ramble for a half hour. We'll see what happens. Hey, Alex Radford is here.
Hey, Alex, what's up, man?
Yep, Gary Thorlander's here.
Yeah, hopefully we don't miss anybody. DR Guitars got to run. Yeah, all right, man. Later.
Thanks for coming by.
Did we say hi to Scotty G Productions? What's up?
Yeah, welcome, Scotty.
Pete Hickson.
Janice says that's cool, but I don't use pedals. Okay, cool.
It's never too late. Pedals are fun. I want to get a new pedal train board and get rid of my old pedal board and build something, because I'm a tube amp guy. Even though I know I'm recording digitally right now, it's convenient. It's good. So when I have nothing bad to say about the HX Stomp, last time I went live with R2R3, we talked about this, but at heart, I'm a tube amp guy, and if I go jam with people, I'll be back using my tube amp for the power. And I've had my same pedals for forever, and there's definitely some. I want to build a cool pedal board with some different pedals. I know one example. I don't know, Will, if you know who he is, but like Joe Wentz, he's a YouTube creator, the Joe Wentz Project.
Yeah.
He sent me a video of his pedal board because I kind of hit him up and asked some questions because I love a lot of the tones he gets. And it's all pedal board. And I mean, he gets incredible. And I know you get incredible tones off your pedal board and in your tube amp, but he's getting this such crisp, great tones recording wise, where it's hard to achieve that sometimes unless you're using digital, in my opinion, in my world. So, I mean, he's just got an incredible pedal board going, in my opinion. So, yes, I definitely want to venture out and start. I really want to get a new wah pedal. I'm not sure.
Oh, really? What kind are you thinking about?
Well, I have the really, really old Crybaby, and I don't know. I'm not sure if I would get a Morley or what, but I definitely want one that lights up when it's on, so I know when it's on and off. And because it's not something that I use a lot, but it's nice to use, and I want an indicator to know when it's on and off. So, and I know you would easily find out as soon as you strum again, but I don't want to have to deal with that when I'm supposed to be having my wah pedal off, So, yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by, Tim.
Yeah, Tim. Thanks, man.
And I will. I'm very humbled by what's going to take place. I'm still shocked. I'm really, really humbled by the whole experience that he would take time out to talk to me. And thank you, Tim. It's going to be a very, very, very fun time. Plus, I get to play some great guitars all day. Hey, can't go wrong.
No, I think NAMM would be great. And do they say? Did you go to summer NAMM too or not?
Summer now?
NAMM, yeah. Did you go?
Where is that?
I can't remember.
New Orleans? I mean,
sure.
Memphis.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know I have a few friends that went. I know I did not go, of course, but I know a lot of people. One of the two is supposed to be more fun, and I don't know why, and I don't know which one. But where's the winter? Where's the winter one at? Do you know where are you going this winter?
Oh, for the NAMM show?
Yeah, for the NAMM.
Would be the Anaheim Convention Center.
What state is that in?
Anaheim, California.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Sweet. Oh, Gary says Nashville. Okay. Yeah.
Nashville, that's it. Wow. I am looking forward to that greatly. Would you mind too terribly much if I reached into my crate, see if I can grab it? There we go.
Nice.
It's upside down. Yeah. The Boss GT1.
Nice.
This thing is gnarly. This thing, it's everything. It can go on a small pedal board. I have my direct out board right here. Thanks to Mr. Tim Stephens, I told him I had this, or actually showed this to him, and he told me, why don't you get a 2-note torpedo cab M? And I thought to myself, a 2-note torpedo cab M. And then I after really thinking about it, I started to look into them. They have a power they have a section on the power. This pedal's about as big as my Boss DD200.
Really?
Yeah, and it has a whole bunch of speaker and mic combinations. It's a DI box, but it also has another section that's already built into it to give you power amp simulation. So basically, with that one pedal, I could take either one of my Friedman overdrives and patch it right into to the torpedo cab M box by Two Notes Engineering, and I've got everything that I need. I can run it direct to wherever I'm playing at.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes out of the speakers of the house, it's going to sound like I'm playing with a full stack behind me.
Right on.
Pretty cool.
Very cool.
You were talking about modern technology.
Right.
So tell me, you do a lot of audio and video recording, correct?
What's that?
You do a lot of audio and video recording?
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, what kind of dog do you have?
What kind of what?
What kind of a digital audio workstation are you currently
Oh,
using?
yeah. Okay. DAW. Sorry. Yeah. I'm using the Logic Pro X. So I think that's the newest, updated Logic Pro has, I think. It's the most user friendly. I had Pro Tools. I think it was Pro Tools Avid at one time, and then I had Studio One. Can't remember what it's called, Studio One 3 or something like that. And I just kind of Googled and researched a little bit, and everyone was saying Logic Pro is the most user friendly. So I think the price tag was, I could be wrong, I think it was $200, and which it was a chunk of change, but it wasn't like terrible. And I watched a few tutorials, and it's pretty user friendly, just like they say, and so. But before, like I said, I had that Korg. It's in the closet, put away, or I'd show you. But it's it's a big board, and with manual faders on it, and it was a analog deal. But it was nice because that's when I'm just old enough where it's disturbing to me I can't go into Best Buy and get a CD. So when I had that, using that analog one, we could do a live recording of our practice, and I could render that, and I could burn a CD, and we could go out to our vehicles and have a smoke and a beer or whatever and listen to it and listen to multiple different stereos. And now it's like, well, now, I mean, you can take your phone and Bluetooth with it, but it's just, it was quite the transition. So, weird. Yeah, I was in Best Buy a week ago, and I remember, you go in there and there was aisles and aisles and aisles of albums, CDs, and that's history, But they're trying to bring back vinyls now, so.
Yeah. So what are your we haven't talked about guitars much, some, but not really a whole lot. What kind of guitars you have?
I have a few. I mean, I have a lot of different kinds. I'm mainly a Gibson. I say that I only have two. and one's like a really cheap acoustic. But I have a Les Paul custom Gibson it's a Les Paul custom that was my go-to guitar for 20 years, and that thing's like a tank. And I mean, it's built like a tank. It's bulletproof, and it's always been there. And but the last I don't know, a couple years, I've ventured into. I've always loved the looks and sound of the PRS. My first vocalist back when I was 19 years old, he had a PRS custom, and I just thought, wow, it's amazing. I love the grain in the body, the wood, and I'm going, damn, that thing sounds as nice as my custom or better. And then I played it, I'm like, you know what, my hands, that's a faster neck. But I was like, well, I got my Gibson, and I'm not going to spend that kind of money on another guitar because I have my Gibson, which is my baby. And up till, I don't know, a year or two ago, I finally bought a PRS. But with that being said, I have 4 PRSs now, but
Wow.
up to that point, there's I have an Ibanez. I have an old Ibanez alligator body. I have a PV. You can see behind my head there. That's a 64 authentic. My great grandfather's Jaguar Fender Jaguar.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Your great grandfather.
Yeah. It would technically be my great grandfather's. Yes. And so I ended up with that. But I mean, otherwise, I just have I have acoustic PRS that it doesn't play like electric, but the neck is a little more similar. My classical guitar. I think all in all, I have about 16, 15, but and I don't know if anybody's watched I just felt like just jamming yesterday. So I actually just purchased a Carvin that I really wanted, my friend's Carvin guitar. And Carvin started making guitars I think in 1946. And anyway, the family is Kiesel, but they had to, due to business things, use the name Carvin. They couldn't use whatever it was. So it was Carvin, but it's a neck through Carvin that I just purchased from a friend. And last night I was like, I just want to just jam over a backing track. And it's like, well, I haven't put a video out in almost a week, so I might as well record it. And it's always exciting when you get to play your new, it's a used but new guitar, and it's got the neck through, and I think it's got the Seymour Duncan's pickups in and out of a Flying V Gibson. But so you mainly will see me playing my PRSs, and my Gibson's always great for lower tunings. But I do have a PRS CE24 that I'll tell you what, I can right now. I'm working on hopefully I can get the video out this weekend. If not, it'll be early next week. But I have something I'm working on, and it's in drop C sharp. So, and that CE PRS, it can handle it no problem. It's just as long as you don't have the locking nut and the Floyd Rose. That's what I like about the CE. I can just drop it right down and play it. But yeah, so that was kind of a long-winded answer, but
that's perfectly fine. I told you before, I love to hear. I love to listen. Do you happen to have the Gibson Les Paul close by?
Yeah, yep. Just give me 1 second. I'll go get it. All right. So
no, look at that beauty.
no, those aren't the original pickups, which I have the original humbuckers in the cabinet below me. And these are EMG 81, 85. And I took out the original pots and pickups. Sorry if my guitar's blocking my voice. Just because I was such a huge Zakk Wylde fan.
Oh, me too.
And, you know, this guitar has been just everything to me. This has been my main guitar, thousands and thousands of hours, hundreds of shows, a lot of spilt beer. It's got some dings on it. And
Look at that.
I've actually had to change the bridge and the saddle because my hand actually, the acid from my hand wore so much off. But I mean, it's even got actually one little relic on it. And it could be between from guitar stands or where my thumb always is at. You see that little, hold on, this little right here, which is like, oh, I don't know if that's from the stand or if that's from, you know, practicing scales around it. That, you know,
maybe.
Because I was like, when I practice, say you're practicing 3-note per strings or you're warming up on A, I mean, I'm like, yeah, my thumb's right there if I'm messing around on A. So, but this is, I bought this. This is a 1999, and that's when I bought this. And I bought it with my first credit card I ever owned. And, yeah, you know, I had my PV Raptor was my first guitar, and I was single coil pickups. And we had 3 roommates, and we took the kitchen table out and put a drum set there and a PA, and I had a little PV amp. And it was just like, time for a upgrade. And I was like, well, if we're gonna try to get famous and try to get good, and you wanna learn on the best. And this was hanging above the door in the music store, and it was
wow.
So, and I used it. I think my credit card, I think the max credit on it was like $3,000, and this was like $2,700. It took a while to get off. So,
and I'm sorry, that is such a beaut. Yeah. Very nice. I'm sorry, what year was that?
1999 is what it was.
99 and 99 Black Beauty Custom.
Mm-hmm.
And how much was it?
Well, it's not. It's technically not called. It's technically not a Black Beauty, but it is a black Les Paul Custom. And it looks. Okay. I took the pick guard off it because I have it. I don't like the way it looks, but I mean, it. Anyway, yeah, it was $2,700 in 1999.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I think they go on for between 35 and 37. I think.
Yes.
Somewhere in there.
The reason why I'm kind of up on Les Paul prices is because of this right here.
Oh, nice.
This is my it's like a 1993 Gibson Les Paul Studio.
Nice.
And what I did, as you can see, her name is Rosie.
Right on.
The reason why is because this guitar is dedicated to my niece from China.
That's awesome.
That's my niece. That's my little flower.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this guitar was red cherry.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. And what I did was, besides strip all the paint, mess up the full binding, and have to try and come up with something that was passable, what I did was I took if you could see that, and an engraving done.
Is it a rose?
Yep.
Yeah.
I stenciled out a rose
Nice.
for my niece Rosie. And these pickups right here,
Mm-hmm.
Paul Gilbert's PG-13 pickups.
Wow. What came in that guitar? What pickups did it come with?
It was a cheap tribute, real low quality PAFs.
Okay.
I just they had soap bar covers on them. So
Pooh Ninja in the house. Edward Crane. Hey guys.
Edwin, Pooh Ninja.
Sorry, on my glasses on.
That's all right, Gary Thorlander. That's really the only guitar I have right now. I've got like a cheap acoustic, but I've got a rack that I really want to fill up someday, and I have 3 spots open. It's getting harder and harder and harder in today's economy to be able, with everybody's got bills and mortgages and grocery bills and utility bills and car insurance and all that stuff. It's really hard to be able to sometimes put money aside.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And not only that, nowadays it takes 2 incomes, and that's why if you keep your eyes and ears open long enough, sometimes you can find a good deal. Like I had that. I got this Ibanez with the alligator body, and I ended up scoring that for $100. And so I mean the deals pop up, but I always believe everything good comes with patience. And but I mean, you're right. I mean, the economy is doing a lot better lately than it was a few years back, but I mean, it's still trying times. Yeah, I mean, things cost more than ever. I mean, I get it. And that's in the same sense. I kind of thought, like when I was talking to my wife, I was like, well, in the same sense. In middle age, and if it's what I like, I don't need all these other things, but I want, certain guitars. I'm gonna, try to acquire that, So
Well, in today's economy, there's a brand that I found. I mean, of course, like I said, I'm a proud advocate of rock and roll relics, and someday I hope to have a couple of those guitars. One brand that I found, I got turned on to by YouTuber guitarists by name of Guitar Max, and he's endorsed by All in One Guitars and in LA. And All in One Guitars make all USA parts, USA tone woods, made in the USA solid, tools of the trade. And the tops are not veneer. The tops are real wood. And I learned about this one guitar brand called Wolf Guitars.
mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, upon further investigation, I found out that on the headstock, there's a wolf in in a full moon, and the whole thing on some of them, and just about every standard ones is just a wolf and abalone.
Oh, really?
Pure abalone. And on the fretboard, abalone, solid abalone inlays, and on the body, abalone binding.
Wow.
$500. And I was like,
sold.
what? So needless to say, I've been following them before I started following Rock and Roll Relics, and that they come out, they're set up the way you want them to be, way you need them to be set up, with all the way to a certain kind of action,
Right.
string gauge, string height, the whole 9 yards. Get a pro setup and shipped out to the customer in a hard shell case, ready to come right out of the case and go straight to the gig without being tuned up, without having to do anything to them.
Well, and I think that's really important because it's actually fairly upsetting to me. What's upsetting to me is that guitars they'll actually put them on the floor and sell them. And let's say someone that is not into, there's a lot of, kids, adults, whoever, that come from families that don't know guitar. They might know music, and you buy a guitar and you were inspired last night listening to your favorite artist, and so you go and you purchase a guitar, and the intonations out and the actions out, and you have fret sprouting and all of that. And I really think that they should tighten that up. And I don't care if it's a couple $100 guitar or not. I think it should be pretty playable and an action, really reasonably, set up. A lot of times, I shouldn't, a lot of stores do offer a free setup usually, but then people buy their guitar and like, oh, you got to leave it here for another week or so. And, that sucks too. You want people to be, inspired to play. And that's what, that's one thing I like about, and I hope I'm not upsetting anybody here, but that's one thing I really like about Epiphones. I think Epiphones, because they're Gibson, I think they make they're a great guitar. And from what I know, they, I'll tell you what, every Epiphone I've picked up and jammed on has been fantastic. So I don't know, but I wish there would be some kind of, a little more quality control. So you get some young enthused or old enthused, whatever, in person, and you buy a $300, $400, $500 guitar, and it needs a full setup,
Well, let me tell you, really, I just saw, what was it, earlier today? I saw a video of YouTube guitarist extraordinaire Johnny Bean at a guitar center playing a brand new Gibson Les Paul Studio. Okay. I thought it was a standard, but then I saw the headstock. It said Studio on it. And I'm like, oh man. So that's the new Studio. And then he talked about the price tag. And I was like, no way.
Right?
$2,000.
Yeah.
For a Gibson Les Paul Studio? $2,000?
I think on location you can find them a little less, but yeah.
I could get a gnarly, badass rock and roll relic for that much.
Right.
And it will be better than anything that Gibson could possibly come out with. at that price point.
Right.
I was just thinking $2,000
It's a lot of money.
for a Gibson Les Paul Studio. I remember that back in the day, you could find a Gibson Les Paul Studio on eBay for $350. And now $2,000.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that
It's a lot of money. It's a chunk of change. It's definitely
no offense, Gibson. I'll always be a Gibson lover. But for a studio, come on. Yeah.
Oh, I hear you, man. I agree. You know, I think, gosh, for some reason, maybe it was the classic. I thought it was around 1300. What is around 1300? Is that the classic?
Yeah.
I don't know. Chicken guitars. Hey guys, eating dinner with the family. Want to say hi? Awesome. Hello. Haven't talked to you in a while.
Yep. Thanks for being here, Chick.
I watched a couple of her videos today. Pooh Ninja, last time I watched a video of his, it was 2019. He said he was done until 2020. So I need to check because I am subscribed to so many people that so many notifications run through my channel. I can't grab, especially when I'm working, and see, oh yeah, so and so has a new video. So I'm like usually just trying to go off memory, you know, or someone that I see a lot that comments on my videos because I'm like, I don't know. I should probably go through and thin my subscription, or not unsubscribe, but at least like a lot of them that never comment or anything, or never have real affiliations. At least you can unnotify the bell so you don't get their notification every time, so I can see everyone else's notification when they get content up.
Wow. I sure thank everybody from the bottom of my heart and for being here and for hanging out. This is wonderful. Mark Taylor. Hey, is Alex Radford still here? Say hi, Alex, if you're still here.
Alex goes live a lot, but I think it's usually late, so I never, because I get up at 4:45 a.m. every day, so it's not on the weekend. I gotta try to get my butt to bed.
So, what's your goals? What's your goals for your recording studio?
Well, my goals are, here's the weird thing. It's a great question. My goals, the weird thing is I haven't figured out what my niche is for YouTube. Okay. So right now, raising a family, I'm pretty busy to per se be in a band. It doesn't mean I'm not going to jam with people and possibly be in a band, but I haven't completely figured out my niche for my channel. I'm not doing it for the money. Now that doesn't mean that I wouldn't like to be monetized and have 1,000 subscribers. I mean, of course, but what I'm saying by that is, to give YouTube lessons, you need X amount of subscribers, or they're going to get low views. Or do I just do cover songs because they're fun too? But then the creative, artistic side comes out to write originals, or do I try to do, skits because I enjoy doing that too, but the skits take time and effort, and they all take effort, but the skits take a little more time. And like me, like almost everyone else, the working class, our biggest thing is time. Trying to get the time. It's hard for me to kick out a video per week, let alone every few days. So I haven't quite figured out what my niche is. So I've just kind of been winging it, whatever pops into my mind, whatever, just because I really don't know what works or doesn't work this time. I know when I live stream a couple times a month, I would like to continue to do that. I really enjoy live streaming, the live chat. I love, making videos too. So, I mean, as long as it stays fun for me and not we're like, I have to, I'm like, hey, if I don't get a video out in 7 days, I don't get a video out, So as far as a goal, I guess just to get more thumbs up than thumbs down. I mean, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just kind of going.
I got two for you right now.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I appreciate that because, I have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
This whole thing is a complete mystery to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on Facebook for a while, but I didn't really understand the platform enough to be able to use it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Remember MySpace?
Yeah, my old band. That's where we started out.
Well, MySpace music, when that really took off, I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to head in this direction. And then I remember that something, I don't remember quite what it was, but I know that something happened with MySpace that pushed me off of it. And I was like, great, where am I going to go now? And then I was introduced to Facebook.
Yeah, it happened to me too.
Really?
Well, yeah, my band, I think at the time, we had and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, if anybody looks this up, but it was it went from 25 to 75,000 views of checking out our first album. So our first album was in the early mid 2000s. And it was like, we put it on MySpace, and that was the thing, was that everyone checking out the bands. And, I did interviews in Australia and podcast interviews and radio interviews. Oh, it was getting all over. Like I said, we were upwards of 75,000, and all of a sudden I was just like, MySpace is done. And that was it. So I can't remember too what else there was, but we got involved in a gosh, I can't remember what it was, but it was a ranking for local bands, your amateur bands, pro bands per state and everything. But yeah, I don't know, MySpace just kind of got wiped right out. So I know it's actually still exists. I don't think anybody really uses it. Yeah, Edwin, he had a band page. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. What kind of video editing software, if you don't mind me asking, sir? What kind of video editing software do you have that you use right now in your video?
Sure.
Video development.
So, what I use 99.9% of the time is iMovie, which is a free video editing software that comes with Apple iMac. And I tried to use, I can't even remember, but it was correlated with a ProLogic, and it was like a third party, and it took longer to process and upload, but it had more features. So, like my project that I'm working on right now is a collaboration, and that's where the third party video editing, LumaFusion, Logic, Logic something I can't remember, but it was like they have more options for video editing, which I definitely need to, research, take notes, and learn. And it's a learning curve, but I mean, if LumaFusion's a good one on your phone, the iMovie has been doing me great, and basically, I mean, it's basic. I'm just trying to do. I watch some of these people's YouTube videos, and I'm just completely blown away. I'm just like that. The editing's off the hook, and my stronger point probably is a little bit more on the recording, and I should probably definitely step up my video editing, but our iMovie is pretty good program, and it renders really good. And I don't know, people either like your content or not. It's not per se the total quality of your video. It's the content quality of your video. So
yeah, I think the whole package,
yeah,
the whole. I mean, keep in mind that I'm just a beginner at like video production and stuff like that. But what I have is the Adobe Creative Suite.
oh, nice.
That's how I make my thumbnails with Adobe Spark. And sometimes I edit photos a little bit. I haven't done a lot recently because the photos that are sent to me are already pretty much detailed and completed.
Right.
I make a thumbnail out of them, and I found Premiere Pro
Okay.
to be very useful.
Oh, I'm sure. I wish I could remember that the video editing software that I tried for 30 days, and I just went back to iMovie. And like for my thumbnails, and again, this is if you guys have an iMac. I don't know. So I only really know it works with iMac, but this it's a free thing called Photoscape X. So I can use like my photo booth on my iMac. Sit here like we're talking here, look at my webcam, take a quick picture, send it to my desktop. Yeah, video editing was easier 10 years ago. Yeah, it was. And I can put it in Photo X and then make a thumbnail. So I guess let's go back to a goal. So a goal of 2020 is to improve my video editing, because I think my content is fairly good, and I hope it's fairly good. And I think if I can do some video editing, fairly good video editing, it will help. I would like to believe that I put out okay content, I guess. So, Lefty Mike, hey Stafford and the Dreamer, what's up,
Hey,
Lefty?
Mike, welcome to the chat.
But it goes back to finding my niche too, and everything. It's like, trying to find that happy median where, what do people want to see in a video? Do they want to, how much talking do they want to hear versus playing? How much playing do they want to hear versus talking?
Sure.
You gotta have that combination. Like I said, so I just wing it, man. It's just whatever,
So do you have a certain, I guess that cancels out my next question I was going to ask. if you had a routine or a certain blueprint that you went by when you're putting together intros, end screens, lower thirds.
Yeah, definitely. That doesn't cancel that out. I wing what I should rephrase that. What I'm winging is what my actual content is going to be. Whether it's going to be a jam with a backing track, or if I'm going to try to pull off a skit, or if I'm going to do a cover. And that's what I meant by that. So it doesn't cancel your question out at all. Again, for me, it goes back to having the free time to, and you can use the phrase, if it's something you want bad enough, you can find the time to do it, which is true. But hence, having limited time, I did music news and fun facts and other videos where lower thirds, I think, are great. I always make sure, for the longest time, I would put my intro before my video. And sometimes I thought, people don't want to sit through my intro. I'll throw it on the end. If they make it through the video and want to see the intro on the end, why I have an end screen, of click this next video. So I'm always trying to think, like, if I was a viewer, do I want to sit here through this really great video and then this really great intro, and then the video content not matching this really great intro, or vice versa? So, and kind of follow the lead on other successful / YouTubers that, so like a format to me basically was, because when I view content, it's nicer to just jump right in. It was a great video. I watch it to the end, and then whatever credits at the end, they put up, hey, if you like that one, go to this next video. So that's pretty much the format, and that's why it's a basic format. Other than if it's multiple video clips, then I'll try to get some transitions in between there for effects. And I think sometimes being most simplistic is better, and get to the content right away, for me.
So what about setting up like track templates in your DAW? Do you like to take a reverb, like a ROM reverb, or any kind of a reverb or delay plugin or EQ or compressor plugin?
Sure.
Build like a side chain and feed into a dry track?
So I have done that in the past. When I would record my tube amp, my pedal board, if for some reason placement of the microphone, whatever, when I was listening to the playback, if I didn't get the tone that I liked, I would maybe throw stereo delay on it. I would find a compressor. I put compression on it. EQ. And then lately, I have the HX Stomp. So I haven't had to add any plugins because it has its own, IRs and presets, and but in both cases, I never would just grab a Logic Pro preset because I didn't really like them. I'd look at a tutorial, I'd build if I wanted a metal tone or this and that. And basically, usually I could get a better tone just straight out of my amp. And with the HX Stomp, I've found a few really good channels that I don't have to try to manipulate much. And as far as a template go, I mean, if I need drums, I bought a program called Addictive Drums, and then another YouTuber, GTV, talked to me about, and it's a great program. I think it's $179, and you can gives you multiple different drums to work with. But plugins I don't use so much. I've built some plugins, and to be honest, it's hit and miss. I don't know. It's hit and miss, but this HX Stomp has been fantastic. And if you're using your amp, I think just spend the money to get maybe a SM58 and SM57, and look at how they set up the microphones around the speaker to really capture the sound that you're hearing. But yeah, anyway, that's my answer. So if you could have any guitar in the world, what would that be, Edwin? Oh, Pooh Ninja's back for 10 minutes. Pooh, I just got asked what guitar, if I could have any in the world.
Hey, Pooh.
What would it be? I absolutely have. I just, I don't even, I should have an answer for that, but I don't. I mean, I guess the general person would be like a 59 gold top Les Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of the value, but oh geez, I just want I don't know. I really don't know. I would love to have a custom or a private stock PRS, and I really. So I think a real 59 gold top Gibson's worth what over $1 million?
Yeah,
something like that. And I'll take one of those just to sell and buy more guitars. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I always promised myself that if divine intervention stepped in, or whatever you want to call it, stepped in, and somehow in my path through life, I come across a 58 or 57 or 56 burst, I promised myself I would always, no matter how bad I want to take it out and play, I would always keep it for the studio, and I would always keep it at home.
Right on.
Because the insurance would kill me.
Well, right. I couldn't even leave the house with that guitar in my house. Puda Stafford PRS signature. Yeah, that would be sweet. Be like, yes, I have 800 subscribers. Give me a signature PRS.
That would be wonderful. I would look into it. Why not? That would be great. That would be. I'd like to see that, actually.
Oh, if you could make that happen, my man, that would be fantastic.
I have yet to hear from Paul Reed Smith.
I have his autograph. I'm trying to think. Help me in the chat, guys. Who made? I can do it on Google. So the 1959, if going off memory, somebody made the 1959 gold top so famous. Was it who made it? Was it Jimmy Page? Jimmy Page?
Yeah. Jimmy Page had a gold top.
So that Jimmy Page made the value of the 59 gold top go through the friggin' roof. And literally, I think they go upwards over $1 million.
Yes. So Edwin would like to ask you, Dave, what's your favorite plugins of 2019?
My favorite plugin, so what I will call it is on the HX Stomp. It is called DR, the Brown Sound, which is I think it emulates Eddie Van Halen's sound, the Brown sound. And just the right mixture of a phaser or a flanger with some delay. So if I am playing some lead, it sounds really nice. And if I go to play some rhythm, the nice thing about this Helix is I can bring up a menu and actually turn off the delay. And then it sounds pretty meaty as far as, just if you want to chug or whatever. But if you want to call that a plugin, I got that. I can't remember, later 2019, but that was, like I said, any other plugins that I use, I built by going to a YouTube tutorial, typing in, best metal sounding plugin. And it was like, oh my God, to memorize it. I was like taking pictures of the screen and screenshotting it so I could pull it up while I'm in my DAW program trying to build it. Cause it was grab this in, grab this cab, grab this, dial this in. And, so yeah, it worked. It worked, but, I found it just easier to use my natural tones that I get and then boost the EQ on them if I need to, or the compression. And a lot of times when I had difficulty mixing something to get my guitar to stand out, I found a lot of times I could fix a lot of things with using compression. So
what's your favorite kind of compressors?
it depends, because it depends what genre you're playing. And so, like, it depends if it's metal, bluesy, or clean. I'll click on the compression, button, whatever you want to call it, in the toggle, and it'll bring it up. And then there's a menu of like 6 or 7. I can click across each one, and then I just go with whatever my ears are hearing. And I know a bulletproof one has kind of been the vintage setup that they have built in. That's kind of been, but it changes all the time. So I don't really have a favorite compression. I've also looked up what sweet spots, if you were going to use stereo delay in the DAW program. I've looked up what a normal average setting is for that kind of stuff. So it's trial and error.
Yeah.
So Mark says he don't ever remember page. It was either pages 58 or 59 that he had the extras. Right. I'm not saying I don't know if he played it or what he did. The sunburst. Okay. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm right by any means. I'm shooting in the dark here. I'm pretty sure though it was page that made the 59 so darn famous, and maybe it wasn't the gold top. I don't know.
Well, the guitar that Mark Taylor is talking about was given to Jimmy Page by Joe Walsh.
Okay.
And that's the guitar that Jimmy Page took and developed it and toured with it, recorded with it, the whole 9 yards, to build it into the Song Remains the Same guitar. And the Telecaster that Jimmy Page was playing was given to him by Leo Fender.
Oh, sure.
And that Telecaster is what he played in the Yardbirds. The gold top that we're talking about, he did have one of those. I'm sure he still does. Probably has a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. And the gold top popped up when Jimmy Page and Robert Plant did their No Quarter tour, because they did an album release call it No Quarter. And they did a world tour off of No Quarter. And every single video that I've seen, Jimmy Page is playing that gold top. So he took that guitar on tour with them. And on top of that, maybe when since we're talking about beautiful $1 million gold tops, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Paul Kosloff.
Yeah, I just seen that. Yes.
And Free. Now I'm not too sure what year his gold top was, but it had to have been right around there.
1959 is what I'm reading. He died in 76. There's a 59, and yeah, so yeah, the 59 or they're all going for around 100,000, but I know I've heard some of them going way more.
Well, hey Bruce, you're taking off. Thanks for hanging out with me, Mr. David Stafford. Bruce, check out Mr. Stafford's links down the description box below.
Yeah,
dial into what he's doing because he's doing some wonderful, wonderful things, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Stafford's music studio grow. And I want to see that, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for hanging out, Bruce. Hopefully, I have just a quick announcement. I have working on 2 shows for next Wednesday, back kind of a back-to-back thing, because Thursday I'll be at NAMM and I won't be able to do a live broadcast from NAMM, but in this format, but I should be able to do a Facebook Live. And if I'm able to do a Facebook Live, I'll be next Thursday on Facebook. If you like my content, if you're enjoying my conversation with Mr. Stafford, and you'd like to support either of our channels and either of our musical visions, check out our support links down the description box below.
Much appreciated.
Any donation, no matter how small or great, is greatly appreciated. More than you'll ever know. Because after all, everything that Mr. Stafford is doing, everything that I'm doing, this is for everybody. You know? We're trying to share what we love with everybody and what we love to do. Am I wrong or am I right, Mr. Stafford?
No, absolutely, absolutely. And I think that like I said, I've tried to get to know everybody in the community, and I know, Will, that right out of the gate, you've kept this going and continued this, and I'm building on it, and you're doing a great thing, and keep at it, and I appreciate you having me on, and like I said, I think you're. Like I said, it's our passion, and it's what we love, and everybody supports everybody, and stay positive. I mean, there's nobody needs to be negative, and it can be a really good thing. So,
So, if you had any advice, let's see, real quick, Mark Taylor. Said that's right. Kosloff's guitar was a 59.
Yeah, it was.
There you go.
Said as you said it, I looked it up and was like, "Yep."
There, Gary Thorland or Edwin, Gary Thorlander, did you leave me in the dust, man? LOL.
Oh no! Did we miss a question from him?
I think that's it. Oh,
from Gary? Did we didn't miss something there, did we?
I think that's about it for today.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you again, Mr. Stafford, from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time today. I love listening. I've learned quite a bit talking to you, and I appreciate your kindness and your consideration to time. And thank you after a long, busy day. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me your time today, sir.
Thanks. Likewise, I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. So I think I'm subscribed to at least, I think, about everybody. I'm definitely going to double check and really appreciate it. And it was fun, man. So whoever's left in the chat, I don't know when he's watching, but thanks. And we'll see what 2020 brings. Hopefully, new and improved and fun things. So thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Hit that subscribe button. Follow Mr. Stafford's link to everybody. Stay in tune what he's doing. Support his cause. Support his channel. Support my channel. Be excited. Be ready to rock, because 2020, I think, is going to be a very good year. And I'm feeling very positive about this. And on that note, Mr. Stafford, thank you so much for your time. If you hang out for a little bit.
Sure, you bet.
I won't keep you long. I know you've had a long day, sir, and talk to you a little bit more. But right now, I just want to say, on behalf of the Dreamer, Dreamland Studios, Guitar Streaming 352, I thank you, folks. And if you're around Facebook next Thursday, somehow I'm going to do a Facebook Live. So I hope to see you then too. Thank you so very much for supporting the cause. Thank you so much for your time, everybody in the chat. You all rock. Stay inspired. Stay creative. Stay positive. And on that note,
hey.